Hello, hello. Welcome to the live for Anne of Ingleside. While I wait to see if some people are going to show up, I was just Googling the publication order of all the books. So I got my stack of books plus the ones I haven't reread yet. I'm going to organize them in their publication order because it's very much not in book order. Gotta figure out which one's which here. Let's see, what was this order? All right, got it figured out. I was just figuring out the publication order of the books because it's different than how we read them now. And except I forgot to put the book that we just read on here. 1 second. When was Rilla? 1921. Okay, this is the right order. Hello, ladies. Okay, this is the order. So I will tell you the order and the publication year because I think it's interesting. The one we just read was the last one published. So, okay, let's see here. We got Anne of Green Gables in 1908. The first few make sense. The next year, 1909, Anne of Avonlea. Then we're going 6 years later, Anne of the Island was published in 1915. The list I'm looking at isn't in order, so this is hurting my brain a little bit. And then we've got Anne's House of Dreams 2 years later in 1917. Then, so that was book 5. The first, no, it goes 1, 2, 3, 5. Then Rainbow Valley, which is number 7, was 2 years later in 1919. Then Rilla of Ingleside, 1921, 2 years later. And this one is actually book 8. And then people must have been begging for more Anne. This is where Windy Poplars comes in. This was number 4 in reading order that we read in the spring. And then Anne of Ingleside, book 6 was actually the last book. That's very confusing to me. Anyway, I wanted to set that up and organize that to see for myself. So the last 2 that we need to read are this placement in there. And Anne of Ingleside was the last one published. This was, what did I say, 1939, much later. Anyway, I got a little distracted there. Welcome to the live for Anne of Ingleside. You can maybe tell from my tabs that I was going to say that this is obviously my least favorite, although Anne's House of Dreams also didn't have a ton of tabs. Yeah, this one has less. Definitely my least favorite thus far. We have 2 more to read/reread, so I'll see where things fall there. But curious to see. This was book 6. The 6th one we read. How does this fall for you guys? Before we dive into all the questions. Oh, perfect, Lindy. I was actually going to talk about that. Yeah, This was very like episodic, like her short story collections, very removed. Like every now and then they kind of mention something that happened, a chapter or two before, but like not often. Wasn't my favorite. It felt like it was more about the kids than Anne and Gilbert. Yeah, totally. It is 100% a book about the kids, and I just want some Anne and Gilbert. Like there were like two stories with them in there, and even then, like a lot of it has to do with Gilbert being gone, working so much, which is great. Apparently, he's a great doctor. Everybody wants his opinion, but I feel like we don't get to see him much, and that's definitely my complaint of the last half of the books. Do you guys think that Anne and Gilbert's personalities are the same in here? Like they're not in it very much, and obviously Anne has matured, especially since book one. I feel like I can see Anne's personality being similar, like obviously more mellow and responsible and stuff like that. But I think like she's still Anne. But Gilbert, I feel like I don't know, he was kind of annoying in the earlier books, but he had some spunk and it was a bit feisty. And I don't feel like we see that at all. Because he's just tired. He's too tired to have any personality, I feel like. I think Anne's the same. Yeah. I quite liked Anne. I mean, she's obviously matured. She's not nearly as lippy as she was in the first book or two. But when Gilbert's aunt, I knew I was going to forget her name. Like Mary Matilda or something like that. Whatever her name was. That was there. Mary Maria. There we go. That she was there for a long time. Oh, Lindsay, I missed your Gilbert one here. I don't think there's enough Gilbert to even comment on his personality. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Totally. When Mary Maria just comes and never leaves, that reminds me there's a small town that my aunt and uncle live in. Their town slogan is literally come for a visit, stay for a lifetime. And I'm like, oh, is this the town of like serial killers or serial abductors or something? It's such a creepy slogan. But Mary Maria, she made Anne like bite her tongue a number of times, and I could see that struggle. I definitely would have snapped already, long before anything. There was a lot of poor communication throughout the book, and some of the stories of the kids felt like recycled Anne stories. Yeah, definitely. I do agree with that. It's interesting because I was like looking to see like what do other people think about this book online, because I feel very strongly that it's not a favorite. And I saw a comment somewhere that like each of the Blythe children had, and it was specifically about this book, have very specific personalities, very like, that wasn't the right word, but very formed, very individual personalities. And I was like, really? Because half the time when I'm trying to list all the Blythe children, I'm missing one or two. I think after just finishing this book like a couple days ago, I think I could probably name, how many do they even have? 6? Let's see. Jem, Walter, Nan and Diana, Shirley, who like we never hear from, and Rilla. Okay, yes, I can name them all. But didn't we try doing that on one of the earlier book clubs, and most of us were forgetting like 1 or 2 children. Yeah. Let's see. Do you guys have a favorite Blythe child, I guess? I don't know if I really do. Having read the entire series before, and now like I have one later in the series. Poor Shirley. He's the only one that didn't get a spotlight. Yeah, he didn't. And he's older than Rilla. So, like, in theory, he should have had more personality. Plus, he's got like the Shirley name. I really like how a lot of the names mean something. That's pretty cool. And also how, because okay, the twins. Is Diana the one with the black hair? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, she was, right? So Diana looks like Diana. And then Diana's girl, uh, is her name Anne Cordelia? I'm pretty sure. Seems to be just like Anne in personality. Yeah, Anne Cordelia. So I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, yes, that's my opinion too, Lindy. Walter is definitely my favorite, but that's from later. Like I wouldn't say he's my favorite from this book, although I did feel really sorry for him when he okay, we got to talk about poor Walter for a second. Okay, Lindsay, I totally get it. In this one, not a whole lot of difference. Walter is just, he's very sensitive. And then but in this book, Jem keeps losing his dogs, so we do see a sensitive side of him there. Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. I was like trying to remember which one was the, and this was the whole time I was reading it too. I was like, which one's the redhead? And okay, thank you, Lindy. Walter, he gets shipped off to this other doctor's house to hang out with his kids and the kids' cousins while Anne has Rilla. And the kids are just telling him that his mom is really sick and she's not going to make it. And like, I think it was 6, like his poor little heart. He ends up walking home at night. That just broke my heart. And it reminded me, so my parents got married when I was 4. And when they were on their honeymoon, my cousin totally kind of did the same thing. She totally told me that my parents' plane went down on their honeymoon. They weren't even on a plane. Okay, they drove. But I didn't know that, like, think of that. And so as Walter's heart is just breaking, I'm like, I feel you, kid. I was in this situation. So maybe another reason that I feel a kinship to Walter. He does end up becoming, I mean, he does talk about him being a bit of a poet in here. He becomes more of one later. I think that even in one of them it shares some of the poetry he wrote, I thought. But anyway, don't want to give any spoilers. So yeah, I don't feel like there's any kids from here that made me really feel like, oh yeah, I like this one. That one story of Walter, and then like knowing future Walter. But other than that, I don't think so. I did feel sorry for Jem and his lack of a dog, though. That's a hard thing. Okay. Anyone else notice all the funeral stories? I felt like this was one funeral story after another, especially when they were having their like quilting circle that Walter was listening in on. It seems like all people do is go to funerals and rehash them for a long time. And I've been to a decent amount of funerals, and I don't feel like I have ever had a story to come out of any of them. So I don't know. I guess mine are just regular old funerals, not like ones that make memories, leave memories. Funeral stories and little gossip parties at various events. Yep, we'll add to that. All of a sudden I feel like my voice is just going to go. Welcome here. One character that I feel like is in the background for a good portion of these last few books is Susan. Anyone like pro Susan, against Susan, have any Susan thoughts? She's just a constant. I feel like she doesn't have a ton of personality, and yet she would be like the perfect person to be your cook slash like nurse with the children. Like she's just a jack of all trades. She's like a nanny or an au pair. And I feel like she's just nice and dependable and loyal. I love her loyalty, especially when Aunt Mary Maria is out. Oh yeah, there we go, Lindsay. Thinking the same thing. She spoke her mind about the aunt. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's always helpful to have someone in your corner, and I feel like Susan was just always pro, like even if she didn't really like agree with what like Anne and Gilbert were doing or saying or something specific, if someone else were to like say something against that, she was like, oh no you don't. Like she's got her boxing gloves on. Yeah, she was like not super memorable but very likable, if those can be the same thing. Like if one person can be both of those. Our funerals, often we hear fun stories of the person that has died and sharing those with other family members and friends to celebrate and remember. Yeah. And this is in the book, it was more like just rehashing things from funerals, especially the one funeral where the sister-in-law to the guy got up and said how terrible he was. And everyone was like stunned to silence, but also like agreed with her. I mean, that would definitely be memorable. Oh, yeah, totally forgot about that. I liked how Susan made a connection with Rebecca Dew because the letters that she would send, that was great. And they're very, very similar characters. So it's either like they would totally butt heads or they would get along really well. And so I like that they did. At the beginning of the book, Anne returned to Avonlea for, was it just that one chapter? No. By the end of chapter 3, she's back. And I just loved, like, right in the very beginning, it says, what was this? Avonlea had something that Glen St. Mary could never have. Ghosts of herself met her at every turn. The fields she had roamed in welcomed her. Unfading echoes of the old sweet life were all about her. Every spot she looked upon had some lovely memory. There were haunted gardens here and there, where bloomed all the roses of yesteryear. Just Maud, just ace in her writing. Oh, this is a favorite passage from the Bantam Classics, page 33. If anyone has that edition, if they want to look it up and let me know. Chapter 6. I'm assuming my pages are very different. My chapter 6 starts on page 38, so if anyone has the edition, I'd love to hear it. Anyway, so like, yeah, Anne at the beginning, just, I loved the little bit of seeing Diana in her role, getting to know her kids just like a touch through that little trip. And yeah, funny things. One of the things I underlined, oh, I couldn't get away from twins. They're my destiny. I do like that Anne ended up having twins because it's such a theme throughout her story. They went quietly, silently, lovingly home together, with the sunset glory burning on the old hills behind them, and their old unforgotten love burning in their hearts. That was Anne and Diana there. Yeah, it was fun to be there. Everyone's using different editions here. I thought that these were like completely out of print, my editions, but I was at Indigo yesterday and I saw they were selling a box set of these. So apparently they still sell them, but they seem quite hard to come across. They're the Tundra Penguin Random House Canada editions by a Canadian illustrator. She does a really cool thing. What she does for her art is she draws or paints or whatever she does with the people. Then she cuts them all out. And this is she puts them into a box and she staggers them and she's got lighting and it's amazing. Following her on Instagram is really interesting to see like the process. And she does like picture books and stuff and she'll have like teeny tiny little characters or creatures that she will cut out to make a scene. And it's very fascinating, very unique. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Lexi. It's sometimes it's hard to find. Like sometimes she'll share stuff in her. So the illustrator is Ellie McKay, Elly. And then Mac, Mackay. Sometimes she'll share her process in like her Instagram stories, or sometimes if you scroll down far enough, you can in her profile you can see some of the pictures, and it's so interesting how it's done. Yeah. Any favorite quotes, favorite moments? Like I don't have nearly as many highlights in this one. Yeah. Try to see what I all have. I felt like Anne really stepped, maybe it's just because children and having conversations with her children, but like she really stepped into her faith in this book. Here's one of the things that she told Nan. I think it was Nan. God is in everything, dear. He is the friend who is always near us to give strength and courage. And Nan is quite right in praying to him and where she wants to. Oh, maybe she was talking to Di then. One of the girls, I think, or both of the girls at the same time. And then there was like another one that I underlined somewhere. Can I find it? Darling, you're terribly mistaken about it all. God doesn't make bargains. He gives without asking anything from us in return except love. When you ask Father or me for something you want, we don't make bargains with you. And God is ever and ever so much kinder than we are, and He knows so much better than we do what is good to give. So I liked that part. And then there was something else that I highlighted here, and I can't remember who this is talking about. Someone, this was during the like quilting session, the gossip session. Just some lady. He said she could tell the simplest story and make it seem dramatic and vital. This is the part that I underlined. She gladdened life wherever she went. I was like, ooh, there's something to aspire to. Gladdening life wherever you go. Like, imagine that on a tombstone. Oh, so I guess I didn't tab everything because I am running out of tabs, so I was being a touch stingy. There were a couple things I underlined and didn't tab. And then there was one spot where I wrote LOL kids because it's one of them said, Mummy, is a widow really a woman whose dreams have come true? Wally Taylor said she was. Oh, it's like some parent said that, and then some kid heard it and then passed it on. And it's like, oh dear, the things you gotta be careful to say in front of kids or careful not to say in front of kids. Trying to see if there's any other underlinings that I didn't tab that I missed. Oh, a random one that made me laugh. Do you think I'm going to talk into a box on the wall? Yes, that was in regards to the telephone, right? I don't remember who it was. Didn't want one of those. My buddy read the first 3 Anne books this year and really stuck out to me how much of a role her faith in God plays in the book and is constantly asking questions about God and growing. Yes. Yeah, I feel like this is the first book where she's not just like questioning things, or like the first one that I've noticed it at least. I found it kind of funny how many stories two M's, has of people holding onto a grudge for a really long time or until one of them died. Yes. And like everyone knows it too. That's the thing. There's a lot of that, like, oh yeah, they haven't spoken until since this thing, or oh, they said they were never going to speak until they die or whatever. Oh yeah, I did underline this one. Snow in April is abominable, like a slap in the face when you expected a kiss. Yes, that is. Snow in April is way too common. I didn't get to rereading this one before the chat. From what I remember, Anne seemed like a wise grown woman. Yes, she definitely has matured. She's not in it enough. Like, I would love to glean more of her wisdom. When she's in it, I feel like she's nice and wise. So I just want more of it. This is just a paragraph about Di and Jenny when she's going to Jenny's house before she's been, the rose tinted glasses have come off. They went through so much beauty, little bays of bracken, elfin haunted in the bays of deep green woods, a rustling windy hollow where you waded knee-deep in buttercups, a winding lane under young maples, a brook that was a rainbow scarf of blossom, a sunny pasture field full of strawberries. I would like to go through all of that. So many moments where I thought Anne must be biting her tongue. Yes. Kids in their comments, you never know what they're going to say, especially as Anne's children. Yes. Where was that one that I had there? Let's see if I can find it again. Do you other parents here ever write down like the funny things that your kids say? I generally just do on a notes app in my phone. And Jared just texted me yesterday when I was out. Where's my phone? Let's see. He, our 5-year-old had a friend over. So these 2 little girls are talking. And let me just grab it here so I can make sure to get this conversation. Okay, so our little girl needed help opening something. And she tells her friend, my dad helps us. He's rich. And then her friend says, ripped? And then my little girl says, yeah, ripped. Ripped, rich, almost the same thing. she matured, but the anniversary story showed her past stubbornness. Totally. And like, I could probably relate to her. Like, I think maybe I would do similar, but why wouldn't she wear the pretty dress? That was my like my one thing. And then once it comes out that um Christine, is that her name? Was just talking about like dogs and these boring things, and Gilbert was just trying to like get through it. No other descriptions compared to Maud's. No. Were you annoyed with Gilbert after the story? Like after you realized? Because yes, I do agree with you. It sounded like he was just paying compliments to, like, now I'm like second guessing Christine. Is that her name? Whatever her name was. It's right at the very end. But it turns out he like, and I do get this. There's, oh yeah, her name is Christine. There are things that like you can't say to someone, oh, you've aged. And I'm the kind of person that like I try not to lie, but you also like sometimes it's hard to find something kind to say. Sam told me that if I ever got locked up in a dungeon, he will bring me buttered rolls to smear all over myself so I can squeeze out of the bars. He was 5 or 6. uh, I like it. I like it. Buttered rolls. So not just butter. He's gonna bring you buttered rolls. You don't want to eat the rolls because then you can't squeeze through the bars. So you just have to use the butter. Oh, that's good. Annoyed with both of them since they didn't just talk to each other. Yes. Yeah. Miscommunication is often a struggle of mine. 4-year-old is hilarious. She was riding her bike and accidentally fell off from hitting a bucket along the way. She shook her head and said, "Ugh, that pooped my mind." Oh, that's a good one. 100% agree. He shouldn't have gone outside with Christine and left Anne inside. No. But Anne can also like be very proud, right, from other books and look like the opposite of what she's feeling, I think. I don't know. I think like, if she'd been in a conversation with someone or something, maybe he would be like, "Oh, she's busy," or whatever. But she wasn't, so he definitely shouldn't have. Oh, okay. Okay, so I'm looking through like my quotes. Um, I had my 5-year-old at the doctor recently, and the doctor was taking forever. And so she was like, "Let's just ask Jesus if he can get the doctor here." And then she listens, and then it goes, zzz. Oh, Jesus is asleep. And then she had a conversation with him, or she, whatever. And then all of a sudden, Jesus said, "Keep it down." So apparently, doesn't quite know his personality, but it cracked me up. Yeah, now I'm just reading old things, old quotes. Okay, here's an old one from when Ephraim was little. He asked me, "Did you get your drivers on your first try?" No. Second? No. Third? Yes, but same with my brother. What does that tell you about the person who taught us to drive? And Ephraim says, "Oh, yeah, Papa doesn't even buckle, and he speeds." So, I mean, if my dad is teaching us to drive, it's not our fault we're terrible. Definitely write quotes down because they're pretty hilarious to look back on. Okay. One more quote. We were playing Raccoon Tycoon. It's a board game. And then Ephraim said, this was last year sometime, "Math is like a dog. It follows you around wherever you go. had to do math while playing a board game. Okay, a little off topic. Any other thoughts from Anne of Ingleside? Any favorite scenes, favorite characters, favorite children? Just smacked myself in the glasses with a book. That happens a lot. Sometimes I edit them out of my videos and sometimes I don't. Yeah, so this was her last one published. And I feel like you can tell she's done now that I'm like paying attention to it. So next is Rainbow Valley, which was her 5th one published, I think. This is all very confusing. And then Rilla was next. I liked the Rilla story and her throwing the cake in the pond. Yeah, she was so ashamed. She thought that it's like so shameful to be walking through town holding a cake. She's so funny. It's just like one of those little kid things. What? I mean, she did actually have a reason. She had a story of someone that got made fun of for walking with a cake. But like, in my opinion, everyone would be like, "You got a cake? I don't want that cake. Give me some cake." Like, not, "Oh, you're Rilla, you're walking around carrying a cake." Looking at my tabs, let's see what kind of angle. The last 3 books here, the ones on top are the last ones. And the first few are very varied. Definitely more tabs in these first 3 books than the last 3 thus far. Oops. And then she missed the opportunity to walk with her favorite teacher. I know. And her teacher was like, "Oh, you already brought your cake." And she's like, "Oh, no." Yeah, I think I don't know if she wanted to write other series. She wanted to write other books. She was over Anne, which I could understand. Like, I don't know if you're just not feeling it. It would be hard to write something. But also, if that's bringing in the money and what the people want, what do you do? It would have been cool to have, like, I mean, everyone loved Anne. I was trying to think, like, a spin-off of some sort. Like, follow a character from, like back in Anne of Green Gables, someone else that she went to school with, but Maud kind of made everyone out to be not very good. Like, Anne was definitely the best person. So who would want to read a story from, like, Josie Pye or anything? Okay, so yeah, we are down to the last 2 books. Rilla looks really short. Rilla short. No, wait, that's not Rilla. That's Rainbow Valley. Rainbow Valley is about 60 pages shorter in my edition than Anne of Ingleside was. It's 307 pages. Yeah. I was like 299 pages. And then so that's for October. And then November, we'll be reading Rilla of Ingleside, which I'm very curious to hear people's thoughts on this one, especially if you've never read it. Like, if this is going to be your first time. I kind of wish we would have done this book club the first time I read it, because I really did not like it the first time. This one has 358 pages. So both shorter than Anne of Ingleside, but Rilla isn't much shorter. And then December, we will be reading our own kind of either another Maud book of any sort that you want, or like a book inspired by Maud, or I don't know what I'm going to do still. I've got like the Blytheworth quote. I still have quite a few of her books that I want to read. I love the early books, but the last two I didn't like as much. Yeah, I don't remember anything from Rainbow Valley. Like, I don't, in my mind, there's no way this is different than what we just read. Oh, John Meredith comes to town with his 4 kids. I kind of remember that. I remember I really liked Real Love Ingleside. Memories are dim. Okay, for December, Lindsay's thinking of reading The Golden Road. Do you want to read the Emily series? Yeah. Good options. Golden Road would be good just to finish that series. To spend some more time with the story girl. But Emily's good too. And Emily's kind of like a good winter read in my mind. Elizabeth likes the Emily series. So many people love Emily. Lexi just started the story girl. Good. Good. I hope you love it. And you got such a cute addition too. Jane of Lantern Hill. I've heard that's one of people's favorites. It was not a favorite of mine. Like, it wasn't a dislike, but I don't know. I don't know why so many people love it, and it wasn't like, ooh, I love this one. All right. Well, I guess we will wrap things up here. Thanks for joining me. We are 6 books into the series. Only 2 left. I hope you guys all have a good night. Good reading. Oh, okay, that's totally fair. You got it for your 10th birthday. Totally. I didn't read any mod until I was like 30. Okay. You guys have a good night, and well, I will have a video tomorrow morning, so if you want, you can see me again then. You just can't get rid of me. Just keep coming.